I made a video talking about the challenges that Hubcap is going to face in distribution that I sent to the members of my LLC. Well, a couple of things I said in this LLC video is a distributor once said that 95% of low-budget independent films without a named star don't make $20,000 in streaming video. And I think that's probably pretty accurate. Now, I did my own work where I took all the films on IMDb, there's over 300,000 of them, and I assumed, well, viewership might be in proportion with the ratings, the number of ratings. And so if that's true, it looks like the top 2% of films have over 90% of the ratings, about 93% of the total ratings. So they probably have 93% of the viewership. Well, 300,000 films, that's about 6,000 films. And if you get down to 6,000 films, those are the films that start to have about 10,000 ratings. Films that have less than 10,000 ratings are not in that top 2%. The top 2% of 300,000 films is 6,000 films. So you might think, oh, well, if I'm a low-budget independent film, I have a 2% chance of being in that top 2%. Well, you don't, because the top 2% is full of films that have big stars, big special effects, The Godfather, all these big films. So you'll find that the vast majority of those are big budget films. So at best, a low budget film, budget under $1 million, probably has about 1/10 is likelihood is a big budget film of making that top 2%. So I think there's not any better than a 0.2% chance that you go make a low budget film that you're going to be in that top 2%. And those are the films that are worth over $1 million. But now, if you do crack that top 2%, you've got a film that might be worth $10 million, $30 million. Napoleon Dynamite. Rubber, the killer tire story, did break that top 2%, and it's probably worth $3 to $4 million. That was the reason why we made Hubcap, because there's something watchable. You have to make a film that's watchable. And with Rubber, you kept wanting to know, what is the tar going to do? So we tried to use that same gimmick, but we made a completely different type of film. In Rubber, it's very killer tire, and the killer tire goes around, and the killer tire is the star of the movie, and it goes around killing everybody. And you don't really know why, and you don't really know the backstory for people, and it just goes around and blows people's brains up and things like that. Well, there's still something about that was watchable enough. But we try to use that same premise. We have a Hubcap, but we're doing an old-fashioned story with characters that have jobs and careers and love interest and everything else. We're trying to make a straight movie that just happens to have a killer Hubcap. Now, we made the movie I set out to make. It took us 6 years because we kept changing things around because I wasn't happy with it. But I made the movie that I liked. Now, Quentin Tarantino, and I think like some of his movies, but I'm not the hugest Quentin Tarantino fan, but he said two things that I really take to heart. The first thing he said was, don't try to be somebody else. Make the movie that you like, because that's your voice. Remember, if we're trying to be in the top 0.2%, we are talking about trying to win a lottery ticket. And we're not going to win that lottery ticket trying to make something that's like something else. So I made the film that I really loved. Now, I didn't know who else would love it. I thought there was something in there for younger kids to like. I thought there was something in there for men like myself that like quirky comedy. And but the people that really like it are women over the age of 40. We'll talk a little bit about that because I give some plot structure to what Hubcap is and who really, really likes it. Women over 40 love the movie because it's got strong female roles. It's got a romantic story in there, and they identify with it. So the other thing Quentin Tarantino said is he doesn't pay any attention to people that give his movies a 1 or haters, because he didn't make the movie for them. A movie is not judged by how much someone dislikes it. A movie is judged by how much the people that do like the movie like the movie. So we've got some early people that think, we got guys that think, oh man, the Hubcap should kill more people. There should be more blood, more nudity, things like that. Well, that's not the movie that we made. And there are people that get on there, they're just haters. Oh, I don't want a stupid killer hubcap thing. Oh, these guys don't do anything original, blah, blah. It's not their movie. The people that love this movie that are giving it really great ratings are intelligent women, because it's a pretty intelligent little film. So structurally, Hubcap's pretty sound. It's got 3 plots, and the C plot masquerades as the main plot. I like a movie where I don't see what's happening. So what happens is the car kills a wheelchair vet. His blood pools into the hubcap. The hubcap comes alive. The hubcap is looking for the guy that killed him. And along the way, he is going to protect women. We saw that he got in an altercation with the guy because he was trying to save the woman the guy was with, And so the hubcap messes up people that treat women badly. Real simplistic plot. But the real storyline is the sheriff, the female sheriff, because, of course, she does not believe that there's a killer hubcap out there. But her story is a straight story. It is a person, she's that's lost her dad, she's lost her mom, she doesn't have any siblings, and she doesn't really know the community. She has a military background, she's lost her boyfriend, she's lost a breast in the war, and it's really a fish out of water story. It's a really someone struggling to make it in a man's world, trying to live up to her dad, and she's trying to deal with things. It's a straight movie, and she's pretty, so there's a lot of guys that are hitting on her, and she's in North Georgia, and she's politically not, fitting into anything. And how is she going to find somebody to have a family with? So that's it's kind of a romance, but the romantic plot is kind of like a romance novel subplot, which isn't done very often. It's done in Witness. Romance novel plot, normally in a romance comedy, you know who the romantic couple is. The question is whether they're going to get together or not. In a comedy, there's a lot of back and forth, but they're going to wind up together. And in a drama, like La La Land, they end up not apart. Well, a romance novel subplot is kind of different. There's a woman of childbearing age, and there's going to be lots of guys that are suitors, and who is going to end up with her? The movie Witness, there were 2 very attractive men, Harrison Ford, and I remember the Russian dancer's name that played the Amish guy. But it wasn't clear at all who would end up winning Kelly McGillis's heart. Gone with the Wind, Ashley and Rhett Butler, So it's been done before, but it's not that common. A romance novel subplot, which is kind of like, who's this woman going to wind up picking for a mate? That's the B plot. So as you're watching the A plot, you don't really see the B plot coming along. She keeps meeting the doctor and things like that, but I think it's done really well. And the people that read romance novels, usually women over the age of 40, because they remember when the whole earth was there at their beck and call, because they're pretty young women of childbearing age. They've got their choice of all the men that are out there. That's what I believe. And anyway, that's why romance novels are those are the readers of romance novels. So that works really well. And the main plot is the murder mystery. What caused the death of her father? What were the circumstances of the death? And all the information's in there, but you got to be careful watching it to really kind of figure everything out. So how did her daddy die? And so that's the A plot. It's got a B plot. It's got a C plot. I feel very good about this movie. Now, we did everything wrong about rolling this movie out, getting it done. We did our film festival strategy wrong, but we have the movie that I set out to make, and we have even better music than I thought possible. So I'm playing the long game here, and I think that we'll be able to find a path to get this movie in front of its audience, and we'll see what happens. I'm liking our chances, but it is a lottery ticket. We're not going to try to win, make a film for $400,000 and consider it a victory if we get $320,000. No, we want a film that a lot of people know. If a lot of people know about Hubcap, then we've had a very successful film. So anyway, that's the video, and hope everybody enjoys it, and hopefully you watched Hubcap before you watch this video. Have a great day.